Hi, Miss Mims. How is you? How are you? Are you done now? Can I now say something back? How
I
how
mean,
are
you say things all the time.
how are you, Miss Mims?
I'm here. How are you?
Wow, are you playing Maryjo's dad already? Like you're already impersonating him?
So last night, I
Yes.
was I was I was with a group of friends.
You went
And
out?
we were at somebody's house playing games. It was a group of gays, as you do. There was a person of color there, so it was a diverse. Um,
Wow.
yeah, but not black, Latino.
Jeez.
I didn't want you to think it was that diverse.
There are black Latinos also, so you're kind of
Yes,
like
I know. But anyway, where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Um, It was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was the only Southerner there.
What?
Yeah, like there was somebody from Rhode Island,
What?
somebody from well, I guess technically he's from Florida, but he's a Latino, so it's did they count as Southerners? I don't think so.
I mean, anybody from Florida, unless like I've told you this before, if they're from below Orlando, they're not considered Southerners.
Yeah, no. So he's from below. He's from Miami. Somebody from two people from Michigan and one and my husband from Wisconsin. So it was me. I was the Southern Belle.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm real Southern, y'all. Like
You're so
I'm
Southern.
like
You're so
like.
Southern.
I, Now, for those of you that do not know, there in North Carolina there are two accents.
Two? That's it? There's only two?
Well, there's two big groups of them. There's the Western North Carolina and the Eastern North Carolina. Those of you that are listening to me right now, because I'm pronouncing my A's, you know it is the Western North Carolina accent. If I was saying O's instead of A's, that is the Eastern North Carolina accent. Also, they mumble and roll things together.
That's my ex's family is Eastern North Carolina.
God.
So yeah, I mean, so for dear listeners,
Dear
uh
listeners,
I used to date somebody who was from the eastern part of the state, and I will be very honest with you. I genuinely had difficulty understanding what his family said for a long period of time.
uh-huh.
It took me about a year before I actually understood everything. So
And if you meet a lot of people from East North Carolina, there's the white people accent and the black people accent as well. The black people accent is so much easier to understand.
oh yeah, much.
I the white, it is a po white accent. It is real hard. Um, just a slight change. Speaking of white people, though, did you see what I sent you on Facebook that
When?
happened in 1980? The
Oh
video
my
I sent you.
Yes, I felt robbed. How did we not know about this for the last 40 plus years of our life?
So in 1980, there was a variety show or like a special, a TV special
Do you remember
called.
TV specials? I miss them
Do.
so
The
much.
last. Do you remember the last one that was really bad with Maya Rudolph and the dude who's never funny? Uh, what is his name? Oh God.
I can't. I know what you're talking
Not
about.
Mike Myers, the other one that's never funny.
Dana
the short,
Carvey?
not the other one that's never funny.
There's so
The one
many.
you think he's funny. I believe you think he's funny.
Paul
Not
Rudd?
Not Rick Moranis, the other one.
Not Rick Moranis, but
Not Rick Moranis, but oh God, the what Harvey Glick.
oh, Martin Short.
Martin Short, never funny. Um
Oh, come on now. Never funny.
no.
Never. Give me a C,
No.
a bouncy C. Never funny. Nothing.
No.
Okay, I disagree. I think Martin Short.
I know you do, and you're getting very angry about it. I can experience it, and I feel it.
No,
You're
it's
nearly
fine.
as angry as Maryjo in this upcoming episode, but we'll
It's
get into that
fine.
in a moment.
I don't know why, but maybe it's just my sense of humor. Every time I've ever heard Martin Short play that one character where he's like, "Give me a C, a bouncy C." I lose it every single time. I just love it. I don't. It's just me. That's just me, right? Remember though, right? We grew up in two very different households that had two very different types of senses of humor as well.
It's true. Did you think that it's Jiminy Glick, isn't it? That's his name. Did you think he was funny?
I thought the Jiminy Glick show was very funny. Yes.
Oh my God. It is so.
I didn't think the movie was funny, but I did think the TV series was funny. And I don't think that he's all like 100% funny all the time, but I do think he has some really good singers.
So, dear listeners, we have a Twitter on this podcast at Baking Sugar Pod. Tell us what you think about Jiminy Glick, if you even think about him. Because my guess is that you don't. Anyway, going back to this. There was the Goldie and Liza Together TV special. That was Goldie Hawn and Liza Minnelli singing and dancing and dancing and like doing their thing.
I'm so glad you sent that to me.
Yeah, I only found out about it because I was looking at Vogue and it was like 14 pictures of Goldie Hawn just because. I'm like, oh, I love Goldie Hawn. So I was flipping through, and it was one of her and Liza doing the opening number from Chicago, and I was like,
what is that?
What? And it said Goldie and Liza Together, and I was like, what? Can I find this on YouTube? And then I found one of it was real bad, but then I found this, which was really good quality, and I was like, oh, my gay heart.
Yeah. It's kind of like how it was when we found the Liza doing Copacabana, right? It was like I had the exact. It was the same feeling. I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel more complete now after seeing this.
You know, if she was not so old, Liza Minnelli would play me in a movie.
Yeah. I don't know who would play me in a movie, to be honest. I'm not sure.
Martin Short.
Aw, that's not very nice. So on to today's episode 19. Since Miss Mims is being extra salty here.
You want to get this episode? Is that what you want to do?
Maryjo's dad's date, Charlene.
I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. And that's Marjorie. Just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the lights went out in Georgia. The lights went out, the lights went out, the lights went out, the lights went out. And that is the night the lights went out in Georgia.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
What a crazy title for an episode. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, like it explains exactly what happens in this episode. And I believe we can just stop the show right here and just go straight to the end.
That's not what people are paying for, Miss Mims. That's not what
they aren't paying. They aren't paying.
Sorry, I forgot.
So we're at Sugarbakers, and Suzanne is typing on an old-timey typewriter, which I'm sure you Gen Zers use sometimes, letters of recommendation.
No, what Gen Zers do now, I can tell you actually what they do now is they don't do the...
Oh, because you are what?
No, because I have a few friends that are, right? Is that now a new thing that's very fun, apparently, is that they have mechanical keyboards that sound like typewriters.
Oh, they're actually better for your hands, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the way it's elevated and stuff?
Well, that and you can feel the pressure you're putting down.
Oh.
So you don't hit them as hard.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, invest in one. They're worth it.
I mean, I don't type that often at this point. I just do voice dictation.
Do you remember, dear listeners, we had in elementary, middle school.
Please don't
What-
talk about typing class.
We had semicolon. No, not that one. We had one of our classmates' mothers was a computer instructor, and like we used to learn to type ASDF semicolon, and she would play songs for us to type to.
One specific song she would play often.
In the Middle of the Night by Billy Joel.
So, okay, so this is what's so weird about this, right? I just was talking about this to somebody else last week.
Oh, God.
Because I have a friend who does like these music lists, and they had that, like, they were covering the year that was out, and I put in there, I was like, I learned to teach typing by this song. And they looked, and they like wrote back like, I need to hear this full story. I was like, no, you don't.
ASDF, JKL, semicolon. We also had another typing teacher in 8th grade who was Vargay. And he was Vargay. And all these old electronic typewriters from like the 70s. We were learning to type, and he's ASDFJKL, semicolon. God, we went to a school.
Yeah.
It was both so progressive and so regressive all at the same time.
It was magical.
Charlene comes in.
God,
and I just want you to notice, I don't know if you noticed, her chair is back.
Yeah, it is.
So this episode is actually from like, this should actually be like episode 5, probably.
Yeah, it's an early episode.
Yeah, it's an early episode. I mean, the filming is grainy again. Julia's hair's not quite right.
Yeah.
Maryjo's not as dowdy.
Yeah.
She goes on the spiel about how there's more to life than men, like the news.
She's prefacing.
Weather.
She's trying to preface. She's trying her
and
best.
Sports.
Yep. She's trying.
And then she's like, but I was walking through the Pick and Save, which is a real grocery store if you didn't know.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I thought that was something they made up.
They're in Wisconsin. My husband was like, Pick and Save, that's a real place. I was like, oh.
What?
I mean, I guess something can be called Piggly Wiggly can be called Pick and Save.
I guess so.
Or Save a Lot, which is up in like DC area.
Save a
Anyway, and she found this picture, and she opens it up, and she's like, it's the best looking man on earth, and it only cost her $1.
And it was framed.
Yeah.
Which I was like, how did you get a framed picture in any way for $1? Like, you can't even go to Goodwill and get that.
Hold on, there's a phone call.
Oh no, what kind of phone call?
Big Blue rolls tonight.
Oh geez. Oh no. That's for Anthony. Oh no, what's Anthony doing now?
It's Mr. Victor's dog grooming.
Jeez. Anthony, we're gonna have to talk to him about this later.
No.
He's always up to something. He's always up to
something.
Oh,
Maryjo's here now too. Lots of things are happening.
And she's so excited. Why is she so excited?
I don't know. Oh, because her dad's coming into town.
Oh, that's nice. Her daddy's coming.
She's been mad at him for a while.
But why? She mad at her daddy?
Because the parents are divorced.
But they're old. Old people don't get divorced.
I know. What's even more tragic is the toupee he's wearing later on, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Oh God, I hate you so much.
So they start asking about what he's going to do during the day, and she's like, "Well, he's got a vet conference to go to."
Oh, he's in Feast from Vietnam.
No. Veterinarian. You know what that means, right?
Of course I know what it means. It's
yeah,
has something to do with vets.
Yeah, my favorite line. This is Suzanne making all these little jokes. My favorite line that Suzanne said is, "I didn't come in on the last banana wagon."
Yeah. So I had the same thought that you had, right?
Oh no.
Because
Should probably get that checked out.
Yeah, no, because there was Charlene's share, but also this was another part where I was like, man, Suzanne suddenly is really stupid again.
Yeah.
After the last episode where it was like, this is a very capable woman who seems so much more intelligent.
Dan Levy, that's who would play me in a movie. Dan Levy.
You sure it's not Eugene Levy?
He's funnier than Martin Short.
They both came from SCTV, so I don't know.
Look, SCTV. So did John Candy, and
blessed John Candy.
Yeah. Dear listeners, if you don't know who John Candy is,
shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
He has some real stinkers of movies. Like some of them are real good.
But he's got some real good ones.
He is the best part of Home Alone. Like,
do you remember Camp Candy?
Yes, of course.
I love that show so much. Oh.
You know what show that I wish they would bring back, just so I can see how weird it is as an adult? They haven't brought it back to Paramount Plus yet.
Eek the Cat?
No. No. Oh. The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
That still hasn't gotten brought back on Paramount Plus?
No.
That's really weird. That one's like an iconic one. Oh, wait. I bet I know why.
Speak as your truth.
No, it's because... Shut up. It's because there's still... it's probably still in the other thing, right? So there's that VRV, which has like the 90s Nick channel on it. It's probably still part of that. So it's probably not going to be...
VRV?
VRV. Do you know what VRV is? So, dear listeners, this is for those that aren't familiar with the world of all these different streaming platforms, there is a streaming platform called Crunchyroll I know what Crunchyroll is. Right. So Crunchyroll a few years ago launched a sister platform called VRV that was multiple streaming channels all within one subscription service. So one of them was called like Nick 90s. And that's where all of like the Nicktoons went and the 90s shows and things like that. So, but then VRV got purchased by AT&T. So there's like, I think it's just like probably a rights issue, but that's where that's most likely at.
Well, Maryjo's off to get her dad.
I know, this is going to be exciting. I'm excited to meet her dad. I mean, we got to meet Charlene's parents, which was wonderful. So I'm pretty sure that Maryjo's dad is going to equally be as fun.
It was okay.
Oh.
Aren't we just well, we did meet Julie and Suzanne's mom. That was fun.
Yeah, and Perky.
Because we got Bernice.
Little Perky and Bernice.
So we're off to a little bit later. And Charlene is just sitting there staring at that picture of the most beautiful man on earth, left on earth.
So weird.
Just, it's hilarious. I was like, what is going on? And,
Anthony disagreed, by the way. He had a
well, we aren't to that point yet. You are skipping ahead. How dare you skip ahead in an episode that is of such importance as being misplaced in the first season?
Wow.
If you want to skip ahead of the entire conversation that Julia has with him about who Mr. Victor is, and that that he was using the van at night to wash dogs in because Mr. Victor had a broken van, and Mr. Victor is in AA, which is the Automobile Association, according to Suzanne.
Didn't you want to skip the entire episode just like 10 minutes ago? I just got my stuff out of order. You wanted to skip the entire episode. So
yeah, I did. But
I love the Mr. Victor thing. I thought that was actually really fun.
it really was.
You know, I was really thinking to myself, because, sometimes I do this. I was like, yeah, sometimes I do that. But I did think to myself, what Anthony could have done rather than freelancing out the van for them is he could have connected Mr. Victor with Mr. Tiny, who had his own shipping stuff from the Slacks, and he could have made money off of that.
There you go. But we hadn't gotten to Mr. Tiny yet because the episodes are out of order.
Yes.
So during the conversation, he talks about some unfortunate incarceration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Julia's like, this is all well and good, but I don't really know how using my wagon will lead to a minority child to win the Nobel Prize.
I wrote that joke down too. I thought that was quite good.
Oh, God. So then Anthony leaves, but he's got a quip about the most attractive guy in the world. What is it, Auntie Maim?
Oh, I didn't write it down.
He looks like he has to have his mom butter his toast for him.
Yeah, that was. I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell quite what that joke was supposed to be about. Actually, no. To be very honest, because I wrote down a note later when we actually get to meet the most handsome man left in the world.
You were just ruining this episode left and right.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers for a 22-minute episode.
Sorry.
Of which we're already a third of the way through.
All right. So then Maryjo's dad shows up.
I've got a question for you. I don't remember this episode. Like, I honest to God do not remember this episode.
I remembered it. Like, when it was starting, I remember. Like, as soon as she brought in the picture, I remembered it.
So, my first thought was, is that just going to be a young picture of Maryjo's dad?
Right.
That would have been great. Like, this is the most attractive man, and then Maryjo's dad.
Oh, that would have actually been really.
Yeah, that's how you do it better.
But the problem is that that actor wasn't ever attractive, so it wouldn't have worked as far as the picture goes.
So Maryjo's dad comes in and like wearing a toupee. At least it's got to be a toupee, right?
I hope it's a toupee, because if that's his real hair, boy, oh boy.
It looks like that man who used to work at Belk.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was a really dusty piece he had on. Is it this?
He was a professor at Mitchell, right?
And he worked at Belk.
Yeah, he taught world history at Mitchell.
How depressing.
Yeah, and his sometimes he would come in with this toupee the wrong way around.
No. Oh boy. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave that there. Yeah.
Well. We meet her dad, and he's a creeper. Like he
is actually.
He is. She introduced him to Charlene, and he just stands there and talks to her and stares at her for like 3-4 minutes.
And holds her hand the whole time. Yeah,
she's like,
I was a little uncomfortable by it, to be honest.
You need to meet Suzanne. She's the other partner. Well, I'm sure I'll see you soon, Charlene.
Yeah, it was kind of gross.
And then he says something of like I'm with the 4 most attractive women in something. I don't.
Or
know.
best looking women. He just says best looking. It's not. He doesn't say it in that part. He doesn't say in a creepy way. He just but it is still. Yeah, his thing with Charlene is a little bit. It's a lot, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I personally thought, I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit forward for him to just presume that Charlene would go out with them. That to me was very it was just creepy. I don't know. It was just us. Like, we're looking at it with a different view of things now because it's not the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. Where were we at? Sorry. I had text from work, and I'm trying to find my place again.
What?
Oh, yeah, I know. I had to.
Well, I
It's
mean,
har-
what happened?
It's hard being needed.
What happens next? What happens?
Oh yeah,
next?
the Maryjo's dad is like, well, I hope you've got a reservation for 4 for dinner. 4?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm bringing a date.
Woohoo!
It's Charlene.
Oh, that's uncomfortable. He didn't actually. That's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I feel.
And now we're dancing.
Yeah, now everything's great because Charlene's apparently she's up for it. She's
Yeah,
up for it.
she's a dancing away. She's just a dancing
She's
and a dancing
They're having
and
a
a
good-
dancing. And JD's like, well, aren't they on a good date? And
It's
Mary
not a
Jo's
date.
like,
It's not a date. Charlene's
it's not a
Charlene's
date.
chaperoning.
It's not a date. She's chaperoning, and then we pan over to the lovely couple, and we find out that he was in World War II,
Yeah.
and that is Charlene's favorite war.
I know she loves that war a lot because that's when people were very different, and she thinks that's the last time men and women were romantic with each other.
You know, there's nothing like a lot of dead bodies to make things romantical.
No, I know.
Sidebar right here. I have a story for today.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So every Sunday I get bread for the week. There's a German bakery near me, and I get bread for the week. Well, 2 or 3 days. You know, it don't last that long. Anyway,
Freeze it.
yeah, it's never that good. And I'm just gonna eat it. Like, I'll just get a new
You
loaf.
said it doesn't stay good. I'm just telling you how to keep
No,
it.
it
fresh.
doesn't last. I said doesn't last, not stay. I meant last as in
Last
as
okay.
in
Like
the
you eat all
house,
of
not-
it. Okay, got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We have a German bakery here, and now German bakery here also. That if we ever go, I'll take you by there.
Okay. But so it's run by a nice German woman. And her husband goes to the farmers market and sells their wares there too. Like they did farmers market stuff to open up their main bakery, and it's fantastic. Anna Lord's German Bakery in Cary, North Carolina. It's delicious. Anyway, so I was getting my bread, and as I was checking out, this man called the owner over and was talking to her. Older man, he's like, you know, I'm getting ready to go to Germany once the restrictions are up and blah, 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 blah. And you know, I heard a very interesting fact. And then started talking to her about Nazi Germany.
Shut up! Shut
Like,
up!
I'm like, you know, although Germans should converse about Nazi Germany, like it is something that is in their psyche, it's something that they should talk about. This woman was young at the time it happened, or if she was even born yet, like she may not have even been born yet. Not to excuse it, right? Because as Southerners, we should still talk about slavery in an open and apologetic manner, right?
Okay.
Just saying that. But when you're getting your coffee and pastries, is not the time to bring up the Nazi Germany.
No, it's not.
Because it makes it seem like you may be a little sympathetic to the Nazi Germany. This white man with a southern accent talking about the Nazi Germany.
Well, I mean, maybe he's maybe he got interested because he was his favorite North Carolina congressional representative. Also, is a fan of.
And that has been this episode of Maim. Tell them where they can find you. No. Just keep going. We got to slog through some more.
Okay, so let me say this real quick about this section, right? So they spend a lot of time at the dance club. Like
They do.
A lot
they
of time.
do.
And
Maybe we don't really have a time frame.
Well, it's a few songs at least.
Okay.
So 2 things of note. Number 1, Charlene basically saying that if she had been her age during World War II, that she would have been as she quoted it, the cheapest woman alive.
Right.
Which I was like, wow, that's a lot. Number 2, what was that dancing he was doing during that faster tempo song?
It was supposed to be like a twist. It was supposed to be like a peppermint twist where he was getting down on the ground and doing that and then coming back up. Yeah, yes, I can. If you look at like Austin Powers movie. That's the best way I could put it. You know when they're doing that dance where they're like twisting down to the ground and coming back up?
For me, it was triggering because I was thinking about when I used to go to Myrtle Beach with my ex's family, and they would go do the dance. They would go to the like
Shag?
like the shag and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just seeing all of these like people. I'm not gonna say what kind of people, but all of these people.
White people. White people.
And just
white people, Maim? Are you saying white people?
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, yeah. When I saw him doing
some
that,
white people nonsense. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, white. It was a lot. It was a little triggering. I'll be very honest. Like there was something about it that was just a little bit triggering for me. That I was like, oh, this is flashbacks right now. Oof.
So JD's asleep.
Poor JD.
And now Charlene and Maryjo's dad are doing are dancing very close, and then they tango.
Yeah.
What kind of a dance club does like all this kind of are straight dance clubs like this? Is this what I've been missing, not going to a straight dance club?
I haven't been to a straight dance club since I was in college. And that place was called Fluid. And I remember that I felt so uncomfortable there because everybody was very drunk and there's just a lot of sloppy things happening. And I just thought, you people are going to regret so much of this tomorrow.
The last one that I went to that was memorable, that was fully considered a straight club, was called Club Oxygen. And it was military night. And let me just tell you, because the girl, one of the ladies I was with was like, I want myself a military man tonight. I'm like, okay, girl, we can go get yourself a military man. Luckily, it was within walking distance of the gay club. And I left her.
Of the gay club.
Of the gay club. She's like, all these military men are assholes. I want to go to the gay club. I'm like, all right, well, let's go to the gay club.
We tried to give you what you wanted.
You turned syphilis down, so here we are.
Dang it, syphilis. Turn down again. You've got to up your game.
All right. They are still out, and it's 1:30 in the morning, Maim.
Oh my gosh. Can you just please? I mean, this is when he's like, you dance like an angel. I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He sounds older by the minute. Every little sentence of his dialogue, he just sounds older by the sentence.
Yeah, hold on a second. I've got to send text.
So just so you and listening audience are watching right now, on your device, you'll see the
You're
seconds.
watching?
Yeah, as you look at your devices, you're seeing the seconds tick away as Miss Mims feverishly types on her smart device, trying to let her know that
On her smart device.
I had a fun.
Yes, I'm using my iPod Touch to send the text.
I had a fun time. So like sometimes when you're hosting stuff and you're just talking. So I was doing the Wednesday. I had to host a trivia night because my friend that normally does it was out of town, and I was telling everybody about it's like a digital one, right? So you get the app, and so I was like, you can download it on your iPhone, your Android. If anybody here still has a Windows phone, and this one girl like made this kind of outburst, and I was like, apparently somebody here still has a Windows phone. I'm actually not sure.
You know, Melinda Gates. That is the one thing that she is really happy about. After the divorce, she can give up her Windows phone.
Yeah, it was really funny. Like the lady's outburst was so because I was just being stupid, right?
Yeah.
But like her outburst was like, okay, well, we're gonna move on now. I'm sorry, you have a Windows phone.
Oh God! So Maryjo and JD went home.
Finally. Oh wait, didn't her dad go with her?
No, they're at the club still.
Ooh, the scandal.
Scandalo.
Oh my God. I can't wait to take you down. No, probably not. Let's never do that when you come down to Miami. Please. They're gonna look at you like
Then again, girl, if I'm ever in drag, I'm wearing so much bronzer, it's almost brown face. It's. I lie, people. I lie. I'm too pale to do that.
He really is. He would look awful.
Crazy.
Absolutely awful.
Crazy. Anyway, Maryjo called her sister to talk about what the dad was doing.
Why would she do that? I mean, I don't understand. He's just out having a good time.
I don't know, but luckily her sister didn't pick up.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, there's a phone call.
Oh, it must be Charlene?
No, it's her sister.
Oh, her sister called back. What is she? So, okay, so what in the world is Maryjo?
Because her dad's losing her mind, is what Maryjo said.
But he's just out dancing. I don't...
Yeah, I don't know. And then we just fade to black the next day.
So weird. It's such a weird episode.
So now we're back at Sugar Baker's.
Yes.
And Suzanne's lying on the couch.
Yeah.
Talking about how she 2 episodes ago we discussed watching Gone with the Wind. And she said, "Don't you just love the Civil War?" And Anthony's like, "Not that much. My people really enjoy that."
What is with this episode of talking about loving past wars?
I don't know.
We literally have talked about Vietnam, World War II, and now the Civil War in one episode.
And then Suzanne's like, "Don't you wish we'd go back to a more genteel time?" And Anthony, you say things like Mrs. Suzanne and Mrs. Julia.
No.
I am glad that this episode should probably been completely cut.
I
Like
mean, the
this
thing
right
is,
here.
though, well, I will say, though, right?
You
I
say it.
I will say in the defense of this episode, you, just as well as I, have had that exact same conversation with people before.
Yeah,
You know that you have.
I
There's
know.
plenty of white Southerners that do that same thing where they're like, "I just wish," and you're like sitting there, like, "What? That's not."
Well, luckily, it's not the Civil War anymore. Most time, it's the 50s.
It is the 50s now, which is like the same as the Civil War, just there was no bullets.
Yeah.
Just terrorism on a different level.
There's an interesting thing that did happen in the Civil War in North Carolina. I don't know if you know about this.
Probably not.
The Appalachian people, like some of those mountain folk up there,
Yeah.
they start off as Confederates. Then when the Union finally took control, they're like, "Hell, we just want to fight," so they switch sides.
That sounds like them.
That
sounds like the mountain folks. Yeah.
Like they just went back and forth and back and forth.
They were like, "We don't care. We just want to fight. That's
We
fine."
just want to fight. We just want to fight, y'all.
That's your
we just
people,
want to
by the
fight.
way. That's your people. Just so you know, that's some of your people.
It's true. It really is.
No, it is.
I am related to all of Burke County, North Carolina. I look back. He settled down over there and had like 18 children, and they all had 18 children. You don't need slaves when you have that many children.
No, I mean, that's how you got past it,
Hell,
right?
It's exactly right.
You
It's
got
exactly
past
right.
it. You're like, we can't afford to actually buy any slaves. So, all right, lady,
just grab
open up. It's time to
Yeah,
pop
just
them out.
keep on popping them out every 9 months. Got to have a workforce.
You gotta do it. I mean, that's really how it was. But
It's
like,
true.
That's the thing
True.
about when you talk about like the whole like Great Depression and everything. You had all these people that started having all of these kids because I don't know it was supposed to happen, but then the Great Depression happened. So
I have done a little bit of research to see if my family was slave owners because it's happened. It could happen. From what I can tell, they did not.
nice.
There are 2 distinct groups of people with my last name. One in Eastern North Carolina, one in Western North Carolina. They are not related, and the ones in Western North Carolina did not. I could not find anything about my mother's father, my grandfather on my mom's side of the family, though. I should do more research.
I should also do research, but I don't really have the years in my life left to go through my family history, to be very honest.
Yours would look like one of those serial killer diagrams with all the little spaghetti strands of yarn everywhere.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Different colors for each one of the races of my family.
Yeah.
What's that? Serial killers? No, that's my family tree.
Charlene's late to work.
Oh, why is she late to? Oh, that's not like Charlene.
And then Maryjo goes, "What's no surprise?"
The scandal.
She's been late for the past couple days, out with her dad till 2:00 in the morning.
What?
He comes home with her perfume.
Oh no!
Smelling all over his clothes.
Oh no! Do you think that Charlene has seen Maryjo's dad in his underpants?
I don't know if she has. Maryjo's gonna have to kill herself.
Oh no!
That is a quote from earlier in the episode, people. This statement about her and the underwear just keeps coming
over
up.
and over and over.
It wasn't funny the first time. I don't know why it's funny the 12th time.
I kept thinking to myself, maybe they're thinking about the comedy rule of threes, but then I was like, oh wait, it's never actually funny. So the rule.
No, it's not. So Charlene's very defensive. She's like, well, I have not slept with him. If you don't believe me, ask your dad. She's like, well, I will.
Yep.
And then we get to that scene.
Yes, which is, I would say this to me, this was a really good scene, right?
Okay.
So the rest of the show was trash, but this scene I thought was very good, especially like, you know me, I love pointing out hypocrisy, especially when her dad points out the hypocrisy of how she's acting. I was like,
Yes.
I was like, there you go. It's like, that's a nice little moment there, actually.
Yeah, so they have a conversation, and she's like, well, Dad, has Charlene seen you in your underwear? And he's like, not that it's none of your business. But no, she is not, but it's none of your business. And then they get into a little conversation about why she was angry with him for being divorced. And he's like, well, you're not supposed to get divorced. And he's like, girl, you're divorced.
But it's different because you're old.
See, here's the thing. I kind of see her point, but my counterpoint to that's not what her counterpoint would be. My counterpoint is when you get to be that age, and you're just comfortable living together and stuff. You should just if you don't want to have sex with the person anymore, you should just have sex with other people. You should just open up your relationship.
So I have my own counter to this as well, right? So like, so dear listeners, so myself and Miss Mims, we actually come from two very different family dynamics. So we have very different perspectives. So I personally, I totally understand, but the thing is that from her dad's perspective, that was very progressive for the time, because I think that now as we look at life, how it is at this point, the way Maryjo was even talking about it, like we talk about people in their 50s now, like they still have so much life left. We talk about people in their 50s back then, like they're just next to death. So of course you're going to say, y'all should have just stuck it out until you died. And then, but now if you said that to a person in their 50s at this point, people would look at you like you're crazy. Like,
I mean, in Maryjo's defense, at the time, that man was destined for a heart attack at like 62. Like,
he was fit. That guy was not in a bad. He was in action movies and stuff. He was actually in good shape.
We're talking about Maryjo's dad, not the actor.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different. Sorry, I was like, that actor was he was it? I remember him in like a lot of action movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
He was never.
Well, they
the lead.
make up.
They do make up. It was nice. Maryjo finally got a little catharsis there.
And now we're back at Sugar Baker's. And Maryjo's very sorry.
She's so sorry.
And she bought a present for Charlene.
I mean, what kind of present could Maryjo possibly have gotten Charlene?
It's the man from in the picture in real life.
Oh, that homosexual.
He looks just like my relative, my uncle. Like
I thought
he is very 80s. Blech.
I mean, I really thought when we got to see him in real life, I was like, that man's a homosexual. Like, it wasn't even like a thought. Like, it wasn't even like I wasn't basing it on a stereotype. I was literally basing it on how men styled themselves at that point in time, and I was like, that man is a homosexual. Like, he looked like he came off of every cover of every like 80s porn that ever existed.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Oh God! Well, did you find yourself a Miss Georgia World in this? Oh, end. Did you find yourself a Miss Georgia World?
Girl,
in this episode?
You're like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be done. Yeah. So my Miss Georgia World, surprisingly, you're gonna be very surprised by this because I've never said this word before. Maryjo, in that powder blue dress in the scene with her dad. I thought that was one of the prettiest looks she's had so far.
Okay.
I did.
I'm going to go with the most attractive man in the world because it was so ugly. Like, those pants were so over his navel. Like, they were tacked up. And like, that hair. Oh, it was bad.
Even his name sounded like an 80s porn name. Tom Clarkson. Even that sounded like... Because it was like...
Hello, I'm Tom Clarkson.
I was like... It was... Even the way he said it, right? I mean, I couldn't help it. I mean, and the gentle listeners, dear listeners, not to be like stereotypy, but if you go back and look at the actors that star, you probably should be careful how you look this up, but if you go back and look at the stars of 80s gay movies, they all look just like Tom Clarkson.
What was the one's name? He does look like that one. The one that the one with the brown hair and the glasses who kind of look like Geraldo Rivera. You know what I'm talking about.
Al Parker?
Maybe. That sounds right.
I think it's Al Parker.
He was in the one with the dude with the huge. He was the teacher in the one with the dude with the huge. You know the guy I'm talking about.
I think so.
So there's the one. So okay, y'all. I do apologize.
I mean, it was the 80s. You're saying the teacher one. That's like half of the ones in the 80s.
But there are very few famous, like, gay porn stars from the 80s, right?
Right. I think you're talking about Al Parker. That's who I think you're talking about.
Yeah, but who's the one with the huge one?
The huge one, that was Chad Douglas.
That doesn't sound right. Is that what his name is?
Yeah. And the teacher one? Yeah.
Hold on here. 80s porn, gay porn stars. 80s.
We're going down a bit of a rabbit hole right now, so.
Yeah, classic gay. What is his name? Oh my God! I don't want pictures. I want names.
I want a name.
God.
You sound like Princess Leia in Soap Dish right now, like looking for some new people to cast at her.
No, it was. He looks like Rick Donovan is who he looks like, kind of. But no, the one that I'm talking about also did straight porn too.
Okay, I don't know who you're talking about now, for real.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll find it and send you the link.
Yes, I don't think the audience wants 5 minutes of you fishing through your phone trying to find the name of an 80s gay porn actor that's probably not even around now that reminds you so much of Tom Clarkson. I'm pretty sure that's not what they show up and pay good money to listen to.
They don't pay anything! So, Maim, did you like this episode? Did you?
It was a fun episode. It wasn't my favorite episode. It was fun enough. It was nice to see like Maryjo have to be a little bit extra. You know, they let Maryjo at least like be a little bit more like a character this time,
Yeah.
you know? So I enjoyed that part of it, but like, yeah, I mean, it was just an okay episode.
I liked it. I like it more talking to you than I did watching it. Like, it has been a fun episode to tear apart.
Yay, season 6.
because Maryjo's father is so vile of a human being.
Yeah.
That this was fun.
Yeah.
Watching the episode was like, what is this? What is going on?
But the thing that I love most though, right? And this is why I think this is like my favorite reason about why this podcast is so fun, is because we do look at things differently than we would have back then, right? Like his behavior is clearly kind of creepy. Like there's no question. But back then nobody would have thought that. Nobody would have said
Not
it.
at all.
Nobody would have even mentioned it. But yeah, it's creepy.
So, Maim,
Jeez.
tell our dear listeners where they can find you.
Sure. So, if you're looking for me online, you can find me at
Where else would they look for you at?
Hey, I can be found in real life too if you're ever down in South Florida. So, you can find me.
And she'll start posting her schedules on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or on Instagram. She'll start posting her schedules on Instagram.
Something like that. Sure, I guess. I don't know. So if you're looking for me online, you can find me on Instagram at auntie.maim. That's MAIM, like I will kill you. If you want to find our podcast on Instagram, it's at Mims and Maim. Also, if you were actually in South Florida on Thursday nights in Miami Beach, you can come see me hosting amazing colossal karaoke at Kill Your Idol on Miami Beach.
So, and you can find this podcast at Baking Sugar Pod on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at designingwomen.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on Twitter at Mims and Maim. It's a little not that active, but you can maybe find something somewhere. You can, and you can find us on Patreon. We still have 0 supporters.
Thank you,
So
0
very
supporters.
much.
Thank you.
At Mim, it's patreon.com/Mims and Maim. And we're always open for suggestions, and we're thinking about the future currently.
Yeah, you make sure you like and subscribe for us. Make sure you tell your friends about us.
Speaking of, we're also on the YouTube.
Yes, not
on
the
the YouTube the YouTube at Mims and Maim is our channel. You could like look us up and like listen there if you prefer. As soon as we get like 30,000 listens or something insane like that, we get ads put in.
Oh man, we'll be there in no time. We're gonna be there in no time.
Yes, our 20 dear listeners that have moved on to.
We'll be there in no time. So just remember, everybody listen to us 10,000 times each.
10,000 on 10,000 different accounts, please.
We will get there so quickly. We will get there so fast.
Oh, God. Well, Maim, tell everybody bye.
Goodbye, friends. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all. Bye.
Bye. Don't you cry for me.
That's the wrong episode. That was the last episode. Bye.
Bye.